In this environment with heavy equipment data, whenever you start your target client and wait a few seconds, you'll see that it'll start up on this KPI dashboard. This one, it's called the home page. It's just a dashboard that's been set up to start whenever you start your target client. If we go to the start page here, this one, and look into our shared folder, BIA for CDK IntelliDealer, the sales subfolder, we got a number of documents here. These documents can be seen as a detailed view, or we can click this button to see them as thumbnails. Right, so let's open this sales revenue overview. And what we got here is a dashboard with information about branches, customers, equipment, salespersons, etc. But first, let's have a little look on the interface. Up here in the view menu, SmartPad F4, ribbon F3. It means that if I, for instance, press my F3 button, you can see that the ribbon up here will be either hidden or visible. The F4 button, which I'm pressing now, will hide or show the SmartPad on the left-hand side. Furthermore, notice down here, toggle to design mode F12. Currently we're in consumer mode, so when I press my F12 key, we have now moved into design mode. You could redefine your objects if you needed to. Let's go back to consumer mode like this. Just press the F12. Up here, got branch number and name. That's a filtering option or a criteria option, meaning that if I click one of my branches here, then we can see that it changed to that branch. And actually all the other data also changed as well. It's a global filter. To change to a different branch, you just click the name, like Cape Coral here. Notice that I just click the name and right away it changed to that specific branch. The checkboxes, you use those if you want to select multiple branches, then you can use this button here to apply it. And now we're looking at data for all 3 branches. And again, it applies to all of your objects, including the salesperson's chart. The no selection here means that I'm removing my filters, so now we are back to looking at data for all branches. Notice this button, Criteria Editor. You can also use that for applying criteria. Apparently, we already got a predefined dynamic 12 months criteria. We can go here and add a new criteria, and all of our dimensions are available for these criteria filters. But let's pick the customer dimension, customer state province here. And now we can select data for Georgia only. So when I apply this, we're looking at data for things being sold to Georgia, apparently. Let's go back to the editor. This equal to Georgia. Notice here you can change the operator. So when you do things from up here, it's always equal to. But in here in the criteria editor, you can also choose like different from. So now we're looking at data except data for Georgia. Alright, if I press my F4 button, I'll get my SmartPad over here already on the criteria tab. And we can see the criteria I added different from Georgia equal to those 12 months. I can remove all my global criteria if I wanted to. So now we are down to having no global criteria at all. And what you can do now is you can go and do so-called drill down filters. So meaning if I click Jeremy Mason, one of my salespersons, that will actually work as a filter or as a criteria upon all the other objects. I can click Jeremy Mason again to deselect this. Notice this button here, show criteria in all objects. When I enable it, it says no criteria here. Apparently some of the other objects has got some predefined local criteria. Anyway, when I again apply Jeremy Mason here, we can see that it applies to the other objects. And you can go and you can also pick one of your customers as a drill down filter, and then that will apply as a filter to the other objects. You can see it here. I'm going to deselect this customer, maybe pick a branch, Tampa. Okay, we're looking at data for Tampa and the other objects. Now we'd like to look at furthermore Scott Wiedemann here and maybe a specific customer. Notice all of these 3 drill downs now, for instance, apply to this particular table here. So it's a very efficient way of applying filters, these types of drill downs. To get rid of all of these free drill downs, instead of clicking them one at a time, you can use this option, drill out on all objects. And now we kind of reset our dashboard. Let's have a look at a couple of options related to objects. Notice when I put my cursor upon the bar chart here, you get this object toolbar, this one up here. This one will actually disappear if you keep your mouse still for a few seconds. So if you want to use one of these options like show data, you need to go there and click it. And show data simply means show me the crosstab data behind this bar chart. And notice here I got a sorting. I can click this small arrow to maybe change the sort order, which I did in the crosstab. And now switching back to my chart presentation, you can also see the sort order has changed here. You can do that for any objects, like show data for the spline chart up here, show data for the other bar chart over here, etc.